Welcome back. Billimoria and Company is a respectable name in the construction industry. The company, built brick by brick by the first generation promoter, now seems to be growing tall very fast under the second generation. While sticking to the guiding principle of the father's conservatism, the second generation promoters seem to be on an aggressive mode. I caught up with Kaiyoze Billimoria Digant Kapadia at their well-appointed office at Worli in Mumbai to find out about their management style and growth strategies. Kaiyoze, Digant and Puneet, welcome to the show. You all took over the reins of the company sometimes in 2003. What was the assessment of the company and what were the changes you all brought about to see that Billimoria and Company goes on a fast track?
We decided we had to have a pan-India presence. We also went about going overseas at that point of time. That's the time when we embarked on the overseas operations in Dubai and elsewhere.
Okay.
And obviously for all these things we also required a good setup in terms of good departments, specialist departments like the contracts divisions or the finance division or the legal division, etc. All this required good people to come in and rather good office space. So we moved out of the old office which we had overgrown by that point of time and moved into this sprawling office say around 2004, 2005.
Because you were talking about, you set up a management committee, you set up a project monitoring cell, you set up an ERP.
Right.
You set up a process and system, you said.
Absolutely. I think that one of the big differences is that in the past what we were is a people-driven company. We depended very much on individuals. That's also partly because we were not looking at growth. We were satisfied with what we got. When Digant and I took over, we decided that there's a huge opportunity with the growth of the Indian economy, and we have to grab that opportunity. So as Digant mentioned, one of the things that we did is go to other locations, and we've set up in Delhi, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai branch offices. We now have a pan-India presence, and to do that, to grow, we realized that we can't be dependent on people. We had to be dependent much more on systems and processes. So we totally revamped, started thinking about our systems and processes, set organization, a totally new organization structure, and then we started thinking about how that would be managed. And so we put into place a management committee of senior executives that we gave roles and responsibilities and duties to, so that we could then assess and hold them accountable for what they did. We then also introduced a much more sophisticated ERP system. We always had computerized systems, but we introduced a more sophisticated ERP system. We introduced a special project monitoring cell. All these to make sure that as we grew, we would continue to be able to keep control of and keep tabs with what was going on our different projects.
In the last 50 years, you all have done more than 500 projects. What comes across is you're not leveraged on the prestigious project you have built up. Why?
Basically, it's not something like a consumer product or something that we are going to be marketing or selling our product or something. This sort of projects, first of all, are not going to be launched day in and day out.
Do you cherry pick prestigious projects, or because your reputation like James Bond precedes
you? It's the other way around. I mean, the clients cherry pick us,
okay,
rather than we cherry picking the projects. But that's it's nothing that it's come overnight. It's come through a lot of hard work, endurance and perseverance all put together.
Okay, let me get Puneet in. You have heard both these promoters. Puneet, as a banker, what's your take on Billimoria? They have been banking with you for the last 10 years.
For a company that's given Bombay the first revolving restaurant, to have given Bombay the first intelligent building, to have given Bombay the planetarium, to have built, I think it was Asia's largest
at that point of time,
dome theatre. I think it's a reflection of a company that is always pushing the envelope, trying to get to the next level of excellence.
Being an EPC company, you are doing predominantly residential and commercial, but you are not gotten into what we call the flavor of the season, infrastructure.
We have had done a lot of projects in the infrastructure segment, not in the recent past, but maybe about in the span of say 7 to 15 years prior to today. We have done quite a few bridges and other connected projects in the infrastructure segment. It's only in the recent past we have not done, but that is definitely on our radar screen, and we definitely would be revisiting that particular area very soon.
What has been the big turning point for your company, and could you name 5 or 6 projects which you'll really cherish and are very proud of?
We took on a very difficult construction contract the Indian Airlines hangar, which to us was like a turning point in our history at that particular time, where we managed to win the contract in competition with Larsen & Toubro.
Mr. Digant, your comment?
We introduced this new aluminum forming system, was quite a big turning point.
Okay.
In the sense, we were, apart from the fact that we were the pioneers in the country to introduce that, the system went so well in the construction industry that, okay, today there are dozens of people who are replicating the same thing.
Okay.
But we also could achieve a great deal of satisfaction in terms of maintaining quality standards and speed, which was maybe lacking at that point of time.
It's very endemic in your industry for both time overrun and cost overrun. How do you manage that?
We need to monitor each and every aspect, right from the stage. The whole exercise starts as the first stage of, say, tendering a particular project, estimation. You have to make sure that you don't go wrong there, first part of it. The second part is that having backed a particular contract, you need to embark on the execution part of it. That's where the controls need to be put in place. We have a project monitoring cell here who does that on a day-to-day basis. We have parameters given to them as to what are the guidelines to be watched on and when is the alarm should ring, etc.
If you were to do a SWOT analysis of your group, what would you say is your strength and where is a threat for you?
I would say our strengths are our people. We have very technically very sound people, very loyal people that we have depended upon. Weaknesses maybe are perhaps our risk-averse nature, where we sometimes let go of opportunities that we should grab because we are a bit risk-averse.
Puneet, as a banker, are you very happy? Your company is very conservative.
No, I think you've got to understand the industry that the company is operating in. If you're a consumer products company, there's a lot of innovation, there's a lot of sales orientation that is required because that's the nature of the industry. But when you're in an industry like construction, when you're building homes for people or monuments or public monuments, you've got to have people who have a very strong sense of what is right and what should work for those monuments. And I think to that extent the company's culture, their orientation is very suited to the industry that they're a part of. You wouldn't want a big multi-storied building, you know, which is 100 stories or 70 stories tall to be built on weak foundation just because somebody was very, I would say, aggressive in pitching for those mandates.
Okay, I want both of you to answer this question. The new trend among corporate world is to sell off at a good value. Would some big suitor come along and wants to buy a lot? Will you sell?
To, answer pointedly to your question, I would say not during the working period of my lifetime. Maybe the next generation I may not be able to answer you.
Kaiyoze, your comment?
In business, one has to be an opportunist, and therefore one has to evaluate every opportunity at the right time when it comes. And as far as I'm concerned, I would not like to do anything else. I would like to continue to, as Digant says, continue to work in this company for the entire rest of my working days.
What does it take to succeed in business?
The first starting point is to set your objectives. Because as I keep repeating, if you don't know where you're going, you can't get there. So set your objectives and then work out your strategy, work out your game plan, work out your resource requirements to be able to get to your objective.
Digant?
Well, I entirely agree with Kaiyoze. Whatever business you are into, I would say basically you have to have passion for that. And that too something similar to what we are into. We as Puneet mentioned, we are creating monuments. So monuments are not going to be created if you don't have the requisite passion for creating them. And that's what has been there with both of us and our fathers also, that we always wanted to be innovative in the sense, not only innovative in terms of technology, introduction, etc., but wanted to do the best of the structures in the skyline, especially Mumbai skyline.
Well, that was Kaiyoze Billimoria and Digant Kapadia giving their honest views and plans for the company. What comes out loud and clear is that they will not break rules or bend rules to grow at any cost. The strategic pillars on which the promoters built this company are: meet contractual commitment in letter, spirit and deed. In construction industry where time overruns and cost overruns are given, This company's commitment to quality and timely completion of the project has been the cornerstone of the success. Constant innovation. The company has been in forefront of getting the latest state-of-the-art technology. High level of mechanization is what makes them different. Integrity. This is accorded highest priority by the promoters as underhand dealing is rampant in the construction industry. No compromise whatsoever is entertained to bag a project. Be process-driven, not people-driven organization. The second generation feels that while one needs to empower people for the sake of eternity, it is imperative to be a process-driven organization. Well, those are the mantras that has built a solid reputation for B. Billimoria and Company. Many say, never do business with friends, but I feel two heads are better than one. On that note, it is time to say goodbye. See you next week, same time, with another interesting story.